Now tell me who wanna fuck with us. Ashes to ashes, dust to dust. I bang and let your fuck with me. Think you just finished sniffing the key and dipping the D's. Don't hate me. Hey, Nicky Barnes for hitting my mom's letting the condom pop. Nigga, I was born in the drop. Coke ball in the pot. Shake the feds and bust shots at them streets.
You obviously were living in Belize for a very long time.
Yeah, well, you know, we started off rough, you know, as a kid. You know what I'm saying? I grew up with my mom in Brooklyn, in Flatbush, Vietnam, you know what I mean? Single parent household, and for whatever reason, you know, he wasn't there. And, you know, he knows that. You know, we dealt with that and we put that past us, you know what I'm saying? He admitted to his erroneous behavior and, you know, we put that past us, but let's make no mistake. I didn't grow up with my pops, you know what I'm saying? I grew up with my moms in Brooklyn and the tenements, you know what I mean? And but what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna be malicious, I'm gonna hold a grudge for the rest of my life? Nah, you know what I'm saying? When I became successful, even before I became successful, I think when I got shot, that's when me and him started to talk more. And I became successful, you know what I mean? We really put it behind us, you know? I made a decision. I could have been like, you know what, I don't want nothing to do with you. You go that way, I go this way. But I mean, you know, every kid wanna have a relationship with his pops, you know what I'm saying? And so for me, I took advantage of the opportunity to try to heal those wounds and move forward. You understand what I'm talking about? And more importantly, we got a common goal and a common ambition, which is to help Belize, which is to help my country. You know what I'm saying? It's a poor country. You know, they ain't got no money. You know what I mean? You know, and people need help. And that's what I'm really concerned about, you know? Yeah, I'm in Paris, you know what I'm saying? I'm good, you know what I'm saying? I get to move around and you know what I'm saying? I get to go to the Margiela show and I can do these different things, but yeah, that's cool, but I'm never complete. I never smile all the way. You know what I'm saying? I can never really rest at night knowing that, you know, my countrymen are suffering and there's something I could do about it. You know what I'm saying? Like if I was able to go to America, if I was able to go to London and go to Canada and go to anywhere I wanted in the world, you know what I'm saying? I could really get my connections as far as different philanthropists that I know and my own paper up to a level where I could really do something for my country, you know what I'm saying, to help the economic crisis that's happening down there, you know what I'm saying? But definitely me and the old man, you know what I'm saying, we see eye to eye now, and you know, it's really about helping the country, and you know, and that's what we're passionate about, you know what I mean?
Well, being that your father is the prime minister, and you know, you moved initially back to Belize, you know, after you were let go from incarceration.
Yeah.
I mean, did you guys ever talk about maybe taking a position in the government and, you know, really setting up shop in Belize and being part of the whole government system with, you know, as part of your father's, you know, staff and so forth?
Nah. You know, the old man is really, he's anti-nepotism, you know what I'm saying? So he ain't gonna do nothing because you his son. That don't work in his kingdom, you know what I'm saying? He's the king and, you know, he do what he do and, you know what I mean? You got to go get your own crown, you know what I'm saying? You got to go figure your life out, you know what I mean? So he don't really play those types of games, you know what I'm saying? But you know, on my own, you know what I'm saying? I'm an ambassador at large. The cabinet, you know what I'm saying? Like the cabinet, his ministers, you know, appointed me an ambassador at large so I could go out around the world and tell people about Belize. Even this interview we're doing right now, you know, you be getting like a couple hundred hits and everybody gonna watch this, you know what I'm saying? And so that's a couple hundred thousand more people that's gonna know about Belize. And being a Jew, you know, being a Yehudi is the central part of my life. It's the center of my life. It's the nucleus of my life. But not in the sense of what people might think, you know, being, you know, an Orthodox Jew or being, you know, I don't think in those terms. I just think in terms of a God-fearing human being, you know, who is a custodian of God's planet and really held to the highest standard of accountability in making sure God's planet runs the right way. And I think that's what a Jew is. That's what an Israelite is. If you look at the history of it, they made a promise to God. They made a contract with God. Because, we live in a world where, people stealing, killing, doing all types of, unspeakable things. So the reason they say the Israelites are chosen was not because of any racial or ethnic, reason. It had nothing to do with being European or being African, or any such geographical, racial reasons. Zero. It just had to do with the type of human being, type of neshama, type of soul, type of, this type of guy you were. That's why you have the proselytization process from the beginning of Judaism. From the beginning, the very beginning of the nation of Israel, you had converts. Because, you can't convert to a race. I can't, one day become white. You can't one day become black. Although, in today's culture,
There are ways to blend.
Yeah, no. It's interesting because in today's culture, it's especially in American culture. I'm not sure so much in Israel. I think Israel definitely has a long way to go as far as getting to that race neutrality and that one culture system. Maybe I don't spend much time in Tel Aviv, so I don't know how it is here, but more so in Jerusalem and what I see. In America, it's like a-racial. For the most part. You know what I'm saying? You have this one culture that doesn't deal with race. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's no such thing as a black person or a white person. There's just ideologies, morals, and values. And, if we have the same, then, we're the same. And nobody thinks like that. You know what I'm saying? So for me, I being a Jew, means representing the highest level of morals and the highest level of values and the highest level of principles. That's what being a Jew means to me. So when I make my music, when I live my life, that to me that's my responsibility. Keeping Shabbat and eating kosher, and I just while we were doing the interview, I stopped to say my prayer. Those are all things that police me. And sustain what I know I'm supposed to do. Because whereas, there are men and women that can be, extraordinary human beings without the policing and without the structure, I'm not one of those. And neither was Moses. There's a story about when Pharaoh heard that there was going to be a redeemer for the Israelites, he asked the one of the guys to come and draw. He said, I want to see what the Redeemer is going to look like. And so everybody that came in and drew a picture, he had them killed. And then finally, after 5 guys getting killed, the 5th guy's like, listen, I see the same thing these guys see. He says, no, this picture that you're drawing, this person looks disgusting, looks ugly, looks dark. This can't be this great Redeemer that you're talking about. But it was. The point is, Moses had to work on himself. Moses had the ability to be an animal. What do you say? The nadir of moral depravity. He had that ability to go to the lowest part that a human being can go to because he also had the ability to go to the highest part. So a lot of people don't get that. A lot of people think being good is just like an automatic thing. And I'm a great person, so either you're great or you're not. No. A bad person can actually be a tzaddik. He just has to work on himself. So again, that's what I represent in my album, in my music, in my culture, in my lifestyle. You know what I'm saying? Having, been in the extreme religious world, to the zero religious world, I'm at such a great centrist existence. You know what I'm saying? So great, so healthy, so balanced, and so efficient. Because that was always my thing. Even when I was a little bit more, into the black hat world. So having
All right, I want y'all to enjoy viewing this. I love seeing turnarounds, and I hope y'all enjoy this video. This is Shyne.
How are you? Oh, have a seat. Oh, that's for me. Listen, I like a guest who walks in with a gift.
Yes, that's from Belize.
Thank you. That's from Belize?
From the people of Belize.
Oh, I can't. I'm going to open it.
Look
As
how
I said
God
at the
turns
beginning,
situations
we're
around.
live, and you have been on my list for a very long time of people that I've wanted to talk with.
I'm honored.
You're fascinating.
I'm honored. Thank you. Today's actually my grandmother's birthday, who passed away October 6th. It was a very special day.
October 6th.
That's right. Yeah.
Was she... So she was alive when all of this was happening with you?
Yes, and she, you know, my mom is in the audience as well. And this has been, you know, very devastating journey and triumphant journey. And so this is part of the triumph right here, that I could be here with your studio audience and the millions of people out there and talk about Belize and all the great things that we're doing.
And I do want to talk about all the great things that you're doing, but to your point, to get to the great, the bad has to be acknowledged.
Absolutely. I think...
And I'm with the former bad boy, as the record label. So let's go. We're not far from where that night took place. And you've never told the details about it. You have never gone into great... people want to know what happened that night. I know that you've always said self-defense. When you drive by that area now, how does that feel to know what happened in there?
Well, I take the train and I walk, so I don't drive. But I actually haven't walked in that area.
Was that deliberate? Have you wanted to
No, I
avoid
just haven't had the, I haven't had the desire. That, it's so long ago. And it's, to me, more of a blip on my journey to where I was going, which is always a world leader.
That's so interesting that you feel like it's a blip, because it was and is the thing that defined you for so long before this chapter of your life.
I think maybe because in media, sensationalism is what grabs people.
He was deported and everything.
See, I think the
for
opposite.
me, like when I walk around New York, everyone is like, Shyne, your album got me through college.
Yeah.
I love your music. No one's thinking about that night.
But I think your fans in some way believe you were wronged, not just by the legal system, but also by the industry. So here you were, this rising star, the next Biggie, your voice. It is as distinct as his voice was. And I remember the comparisons. Yeah. And you were on your way. Even you were quoted as saying you thought you were going to be a billionaire rap star. And you ended up behind bars. And the two people who were there with you that night went on to be two of the biggest stars in the world. What was that like for you, watching them shine and Shyne live in darkness?
Jesus.
I think everything is about timing. And, the opportunity that I have today to impact the world, everything that I've been through is really worth it. Because I'm not just a leader in Belize, but I'm a world leader. Because the ideals and the principles that I represent, which is integrity, which is loyalty, which is honesty, having moral
integrity. Two critical things, loyalty and honesty. Yeah. I know that you and Puffy are friends now, and he has supported you. But people believe that you went to jail because you were too loyal.
I think in the Belize House of Representatives, unfortunately, like most Congresses and National Assemblies, you have people that aren't loyal to their constituents and to serving the public interest. So what I've been through is not about Puff. I'm nobody's victim. That was about me. That was about my honor, my integrity, which propelled me to be exactly where I am today as a Belizean leader and a world leader, showing examples of the best that all human beings have in them as far as character and integrity, ethics, and moral.
Two questions for you. Do you miss the music? Do you miss rapping? Because it is a gift.
Yeah. Well, you know, I always tell people in the House of Representatives, you're the voice of the people. People elect you to go there and be their voice, and it's the people's house. And, you know, if you ever listen to me speak in the House of Representatives, it's just like I'm at Madison Square Garden, you know, because you have to be able to communicate, you know, the narrative of the people, their demands, their dissatisfactions, and you have to be able to do that forcefully and very, you know, systematically. It has to have a method, a rhythm. So it's similar to, you know, when I made music, because I never made music just to make music. I was the voice of the voiceless. I was the voice of all those kids that were still in Brooklyn, still in Belize, still in Compton, still wherever, in urban societies where they're systematically discriminated against and subjugated and destined to spend the rest of their lives in jail or in an early grave. So when I was making music, I was making music for them. And if you listen to my first album, the first thing that I said was, you know, dear America, I'm only what you made me. Young, black, and crazy. Please save me. Right?
I know that you come from a political dynasty. Your father, a history-making politician as well.
Yeah.
And you're an outstanding representative of Belize. And this is what you brought for me as a gift.
That's from the, you know, Belize has such a rich culture. Everything is better in Belize. The people, you know, you have Maya people. That's from the Maya people.
Wow.
You know, historic Maya people. Then we have the Garifuna people, which are
His
the Africans.
deportation
We
was
have
the best thing that
mestizos.
could have happened to
That's
him.
from the Garifuna people. Very rich culture. Yeah, so when you visit Belize, you know, the food is great. The people are better. The water is pristine.
Well, it is beautiful to see you use that gifted voice and the wordsmith that you are to elevate your country. And
Amen.
thank you so much for
Amen.
coming
Thank
on.
you for having me.
Thank you.
All righty.